Well, good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the farm. Today, we're going to start collecting bodies. I have some good news, though. Not every single one of our fish is dead. We've got quite a few dead, but we've also got quite a few that are still kicking and living. So, let's assess the damage and start collecting bodies. If you've been following our other videos, you'll know that our greenhouse and our home endured 4-degree weather, and it shattered pipes everywhere. None of the plants are still alive, but luckily we've still got a few live fish. I was surprised to find that, oh, that one's still moving. I was surprised to find that all of our small goldfish survived and all of our small koi survived, but a whole bunch of my other fish didn't. They're just gone. So we got some work to do, cleaning stuff up. One of the first things we need to do is get a filtration system back up and running and working. These guys need some movement. And the filtration system seems like it's intact, so we're going to give it a try. I got my fingers crossed, but I'm not going to be holding my breath. One of the things I need to do is dump the black sludge out of the bottom of these filter tanks, because the bottom section of it here is full of nasty fish crap and stuff that's been there for a good long while. Black stuff. Water and fish poop and etc. And I guess next I need to arrange for some water to be put in that tank before I go and kick on the pump, because these require quite a bit of water. Let me go find a garden hose. Well, I went out Found me a garden hose. We're pulling water from the house since all of the pipes out here are shattered. But yeah, I'll put about 400 gallons or so of water in here and then start trying to do a little bit of cleaning on the filtration system before we kick things off and get this circulating again, so at least we'll have one tank that's being aerated and circulated, and see what we can do about taking all the survivors and put them in this one big tub. Yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us. Well, it's slowly filling. I went and grabbed a cinder block and put the pump on it, because we learned a long time ago you never ever want to take one of these pumps and put it down on the very bottom, because if something goes wrong it will pump this thing all the way to the bottom. And these little Harbor Freight sump pumps are great. They have a electric float switch on it. That way it'll come on when it's full, and when it gets down to the level of the bottom of the pump, it'll shut off. That way these guys, if something goes wrong, at least there'll be, 8 inches to a foot of water left in the tank that they can swim around in. I'm gonna have to kick back and wait for an hour or two and let this fill up. I'll check back in when we got that going. I do have some good news to report. Most of, or all of my koi, those small koi that were in the breeder tanks, they survived. They're doing fine. Here in a little while I'm going to go and scoop all these guys up and put them in that big blue tank that I've been working on this morning. Have all their survivors in a tank that has filtration and air bubblers in it. And here's the goldfish. Goldfish appear to be just fine. In fact, there was not a single one lost in this tank. All of them lived and survived. I'm amazed, but I'm not surprised. I've had goldfish and koi survive some pretty cold temperatures before, and these guys were pretty much frozen solid. These guys weren't so lucky. This is the tank with all of the bluegills in it, and not a single one of them survived. Not one. A few of the minnows survived, but not many. Most ended up pretty much bottom up. Yeah, there's a few in there running around. I'm gonna have fun trying to catch those little guys. Doesn't take much to muddy up the bottom where you can't see the rest of the bodies. There's a few of them in there darting around. Well, now we've gone and filled this up. I went and hooked this up to the house water and got it filled up to its normal level. And we've got a pump rigged up, and we've got air stones from a really big heavy-duty little air compressor. And next we've got to go and clean out the filtration system, and that's not going to be a fun job. It's going to be rather messy and yucky. but we'll muddle through it. That's next on the checklist. Next, we've got to go and start pulling filter media bags. These are bags full of some little plastic media that look like little wagon wheels. And I filled up pantyhose bags with them. This gives a good base for the biological filtration to take hold, and it worked really, really well. But rather than having it free floating, I put it in these bags because it makes it a lot easier to pull out and clean. Because let's face it, every once in a while you got to go and pull out your filter media and clean it. Keep the fish happy and healthy. They like to float, so we keep them in these two bottom tanks. These are full of hay and they keep the algae down. Okay, well that's all of those. Let's go rinse them out. We're going to try to wrangle some goldfish. Well, we got a few. I can get them to drop in there. Come on, dude. There we go. Got another one. We'll drop these in the tank. Well, I got a few. And I got a few more. Got another one. Got another one. Got a few. Go and put these guys in the other tank with the big fish. Looks like we're down to 3 fish. And I got one. Still got just the one. Well, and I just lost him. Got him. Well, we got 2 more. I'll pump some water out and I'll be able to get them. Now I'm going to go and try to go after the koi. Got 2, 3. They're quick little buggers. Got another one. Whoop, almost. Got him. Got 2 more. Go put these guys in the big tank. Now I'm going to rinse out the settling tank. It's got a bunch of crud that settled out. We're going to flush it out. Well, now that I've gone and cleaned up a skimmer for a koi pond and put it in here, it'll skim everything off the top. And we've gone and flushed everything in the filtration system. And I installed a float with a pump, or a pump with a float, and plug this thing and get it going and start circulating again. There we go. We now have circulation. Well, we have water going into the filter. We don't have circulation yet. The way this works is we've got a 3/4 inch hose coming up into this first tank, and it swirls around, and that's the settling tank. All the heavy stuff will settle down to the top of it. It overflows into the next tank, which has a whole bunch of deer netting and stuff, which will catch more debris and solids and stuff as it goes around in there. And it has an overflow that drops out into this third tank, which is a 35 gallon, and it has a bunch of that bio ball media, and that one overflows into the next tank here, which is number 4, and it has a bunch more of that bio ball media. And it has an air stone in it from the air pump, and then it overflows out of this tank and goes back into the pool. Here in a few minutes we'll see it start coming out. And now we have water circulation all the way through the filtration system. We'll see how clear it looks tomorrow. Well, there's my second bucket of fish that I'm throwing out in the pasture. We're gonna go feed the buzzards. Well, we got a lot done today, and it pretty much took all day. Basically, we've gone and wrangled all the surviving fish that we had and put them in the big tank, set up a temporary sump pump that gets it circulating through the filtration system. Got a koi pond skimmer in there to skim off the top, and yeah, everybody's all in one big tank now. I wasn't even worried about all the shattered pipes and stuff. It's like, just let's get the live fish into the tank where we can keep them alive. And that's what we did today. I went and cleaned out the filtration. Excuse me, burping my lunch. We cleaned out the filtration system and everything about the best we could. Again, we didn't have to really clean it. The thing was, we needed to rinse it and get the mud and the muck out of it, but leave all of the biological stuff inside the bio balls so it'll do its thing. And the water's pretty cloudy right now that everything's circulating again. But here in about 24 hours, it ought to be pretty close to sparkling clean after that filtration system gets done with it. The way this thing works is that pump will turn over this 660-gallon tank about 15 times or so in a 24-hour period. So I think it'll filter it pretty good. Well, thanks for coming out and hanging out with me for a little bit and watching me try to fix the winter nightmare. And like, subscribe, and leave me a comment down there, please. And come back and see us.